Welcome to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad. My name is Wes Coons, and welcome back to the show. It's December 27th. I hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas. I know for myself, Abby and I, we had a great time on Christmas Day. That was nice, and it was just really quiet. So I was thankful and grateful for that opportunity. And let's be honest, this time of year, a lot of people struggle. And so I was thinking about, what do I want to do on the podcast? Because I still have some episodes that I promised you. I have the 21 days after the ceremony that I keep teasing you about. And Diana is going to come on the show here soon. So as I was going through my thoughts on what I wanted this episode to be about, I wanted it to be about reminding you who you are. Right? I was listening to Joel Osteen today, and he was talking about that. It just resonated with me at such a deep level. I think we can get caught up in the day-to-day minutia, the problems, our health, finances. We just went through some elections. We've got some stuff going on that people are passionate about, and the country is just like on edge of what's next, where are we going? And so I wanted to talk about that today. And I was listening to this lady talk about living a creative life. And as I listened to her talk, she spoke about this topic. The word passion came up. And you hear people say all the time, what are you passionate about, Wes? What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? I'm like, fuck, man, I'm 55 years old. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know how I got here half the time. But as I'm going through these business courses and things, they have you do goals and affirmations about what you're passionate about. I never really got passionate about my work. Not until my spiritual awakening, not until I realized I had gifts. And then in my mind, I'm like, if God graced me with this opportunity, if he sat there and said, this cat is going to step up and do something, I'm going to fucking do that work, bro. And I'm excited about that. And there's passion there for me. And even with having that passion, sometimes I have to remind myself nearly every day, I guess, of who I am, because I've got 50 some years of programming that I'm maybe not the super beautiful person that I actually am. And if you're anything like me, we have that old programming that messes with us. And what this lady was talking about is live a curious life, not a life based off of fear. A life based off of fear is, I can't open that business. What if it fails? I can't buy a new car. What will my neighbor think? I can't do this. I can't do that. Well, you're right. Henry Ford says whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are 100% right. And I was listening to Joel Osteen the other day. I think it was on his show. But they're talking about, what if what you wanted came true? What if you stepped into that position and opened that business and it was super successful? What if you communicated with your significant other a different way than you have in the past? You opened your heart and you said, hey, I don't know how to share my feelings properly, and I'm going to put myself out there. Can we talk? And maybe you have to sit in separate rooms and text each other a little bit. I can appreciate that. I've done that in the past. Whatever it takes to break the chains of dysfunction, break the chains of addiction, break the chains of abuse. Let's create generational blessings instead of generational curses for our children. I mean, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing right now. One of the greatest things I've ever experienced is when my little girl, Sydney, told me, Daddy, I see you changing and I'm going to do the work too, is basically what she said. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. How cool is that? She's 29 years old. I started learning this in my 50s. I mean, she's got 20 years ahead of me. Imagine what you could do with 20 extra years of thinking the way we're supposed to think, being the person that you're supposed to be. So this lady was talking about living your day with curiosity. And how fun would it be to do what Martha Stewart said, I like to play this game and see how hard I can work today. How fun is that? Imagine the game is, let's go and do something with no agenda. We're going to go out and go to the park or whatever we're going to do with your significant other or with yourself and experience whatever fucking happens. Right? I mean, I'm one for, if I don't have somebody to hang out with, I'll typically just do my own thing at home. And I was thinking about that. I was like, maybe I should go on some adventures. Maybe I should live my life with curiosity. Maybe instead of that self-doubt that comes in, I start reprogramming my thoughts and think about, what if my healing practice goes to a global level? What if we heal tens of thousands of people every year? Do you know what kind of ripple effect, what kind of butterfly effect that would be? I mean, that's crazy to think about. What if you open that business that you've been talking about for 20 fucking years? Now you might sit there and say, hey, I don't have the finances. I don't have this. I don't have that. Fuck that. Why don't you focus on what you do have? You have the mindset. You've got the skill. You've got the gift to do that work. Focus on that. Because if you're anything like me, that negative thought pattern comes in, and when it does, like it was earlier today, I started saying, Spirit has this, Spirit has me. Spirit has this, Spirit has me. Over and over and over until my thoughts got off of the negative and started moving towards the positive. What if you took your phone out and there's a recording program in there, which I know you have, and you recorded 2 or 3 minutes of, I am beautiful, I am gifted, I am loved. I love myself, I love this job, I love this life. Every step I take raises my vibration. Every breath I take heals my body. Do you think maybe I've said that a couple times? If you live in Virginia Beach and you're walking down the boardwalk in the morning, you very well may hear that coming out of my mouth as Abigail and I are going for a morning walk. So when I was listening to this lady, she was talking about having passion. And she said, passion is like lightning in a bottle, the burning bush, God speaking to you, this giant aha moment. Well, I don't know about you, but I never really had that. So what she was saying, instead of looking for this epic moment in your life to move you, if you are able to find it, why don't you live your life out of curiosity? Kind of like having a child's mind every day. Children are so curious, and I don't know, it just resonated with me at a high level, and I wanted to share that because we can easily be curious on what it would be easy to be curious about what it would look like to sell 25 homes this year, or to be the #1 person in your organization, or to eat healthy. What if we took a day and we really focused on curious and being authentic with yourself? I think goes hand in hand. Meaning, if you're supposed to go to the gym today, you get up and you go, even if you don't want to. That you read your affirmations even if you don't want to. Being authentic and honoring yourself and speaking your truth. Setting your cell phone down when you're lonely and bored instead of texting people you really don't want to have a relationship with. Right? And that kind of goes into what Trinae was telling me the other day, and we've talked about her from the Reiki Wellness Center. She was saying, Wes, live your life with intention. So living your life with curiosity, intention, and being authentic. Imagine if you combined that. And what I mean by intention is, when you go to the refrigerator, if you're going to eat something that's not healthy, at least be intentional with it. Because I think if you start to do that, you're probably going to start picking other things to eat, eating it mindlessly. When you text people, text with intention. Why am I texting this person? What do I want out of it? Am I sad? Am I angry? Am I bored? Is this a necessity for me to text this person? Be intentional with that. And notice how all of a sudden we stop texting so many people. Being open-hearted with your message that you give to yourself. Stop telling yourself that you're ugly, weak, and fucking stupid, because you're not. I believed that most of my life. I believed that I did not deserve a spot at the table at the board of directors of the multiple listing service that I was on for 10 years, because that little boy in me, that little version of Wes, was saying, hey, you didn't do what they did. You know what? I got more gifts, more skills than most of the people in that room. I chose to stay in my victim energy instead of stepping into my this is who the fuck I am energy. And I'm not disrespecting them. I'm just talking about my space and being intentional on what I'm going to do from now on. How am I going to run this podcast now that it's just me? How am I going to grow my healing business with intention? How am I going to grow my real estate business with intention? How am I going to look at my body and the food that I take and the things that I ingest in my body that might not be healthy, like soda and other things? I've noticed when I start doing things with intention, my vibration increases. That's fun. And I've also noticed when I do that, I get uncomfortable and then I go backwards a little bit. So I've just kind of experienced that in the last month. My vibration was going through the roof, and I'll be honest, it freaked me out. I was uncomfortable in that spot. And so I slowed it down, and now I'm trying to get back to that spot again and above, because I just needed to process it. And I came to the realization that I was comfortable being uncomfortable in my skin. As my vibration was increasing, I was telling people, this is one of the best days I've ever had. I'm having a great time right now. This is great. I feel good. I slept well. I got up and went to the beach and did what I was supposed to do with the dog. And that was so irregular for me, I shut it down. And so I've had these conversations with God, and he's like, hey, I gave you that chance. I raised your vibration, and you took it backwards. I'm like, dude, well, I want it back. So I have to work for that. So I was reading this, this article about manifesting. And the lady was talking about, as we go around and tell everybody, hey, how's your week? Oh my gosh, this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened. And I've said that 15 fucking times today. Well, all we're doing is remanifesting that misery. So what if you started saying, hey, you know what? It was great. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. All this fucked up shit happened to me. But it's unbelievable. And when you say it that way, they're like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Good for you, Wes. I'm like, yeah, it's been unbelievable. I'm looking forward to next week. It's going to be even better. And yeah, you're faking it till you make it. But you know what? You faked it until you made yourself miserable. You told yourself these bullshit lies over and over and over until you believed them, until you felt the energy of that. So why can't you tell a different story of love and hope and joy and the person that you're supposed to be? I believe we're here on a soul contract. It talks about it in the Bible that God knows every step that you make as you come onto this planet. He knows everything that you're going to do in your life. So if that's not a contract, I don't know what is. If you think about, we were angels in heaven, and we were given an opportunity to come down here and live 50, 60, 80, 100 years, which is a blip of a second for them, and experience all these experiences Don't you owe it to yourself to fulfill your contract? Don't you owe it to yourself to fulfill being the man or woman that you're supposed to be and show your babies what it looks like for mom and dad to heal? Fuck yes, you do. You deserve that. Well, Wes, I'm in active addiction. Wes, I was molested as a kid. Wes, I was. Well, no fucking shit. You know what? I was too. I've been through all those things. And if I can make a change, you can make a change. There's people every single day choosing, hear that, choosing to live their life with intention, choosing to be vulnerable, choosing to be curious, choosing to make wise decisions, choosing to leave relationships, choosing to stop dating the same person over and over, because they've made a choice that they are important and that they are loved and they wanted something different. I can promise you when I was making those choices, I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel important. I didn't feel anything other than fucking misery. I was told you can't lose what is yours by divine right. I mean, we've all been in a relationship where we've been hurt, right? And a lot of us didn't want that relationship to end, even if it wasn't good, even if all the points weren't there. We wanted to be there. We loved that person. And this thing I was looking at, this article I was reading, the lady was talking about we fall in love a lot of times with what we believe that person could be. They could be that person. They pretend to be that person. They fake being that person, but the reality is they're not. And then we get in this meat grinder of trying to figure things out and feel like you're losing your freaking mind, and they're playing these games, and at the end of the day, they don't fucking give a shit about you. Because if they did, they wouldn't manipulate you. They wouldn't lie to you. They wouldn't cheat on you. They wouldn't treat you like shit. They wouldn't play these games and turn around and say, oh, you're so upset because I just screwed you over and your feelings are hurt and I'm making myself the victim so you look bad. That craziness that you go through, these avoidant personalities. And I've learned all these things recently off this past relationship and some other ones that I've started to learn how to understand what I'm seeing. I'm not disrespecting them. I am grateful for those people. God sent those people to me to go through these lessons so I can learn what I'm seeing when somebody shows up, right? I mean, how confusing is dating? Be a 55-year-old man and try to date. It's difficult. My knee hurts, my hip hurts, my shoulder hurts. You don't know really what you're supposed to be doing. It's awkward. And I'm sure for the lady, it's just as awkward. One of the things that I found is if we slow it down and we don't have sex with that person and we get to know them, there's been some opportunities where I've met somebody, I'm like, man, I am so glad I did that because I don't want to be in a relationship with this person. We're just two different people. It's not what I was looking for. It's not that they're bad or I'm better. It just wasn't my person. And it's funny, when you don't have sex, it's easier to walk away. Just a thought. As I'm still healing personally from this past relationship, I'm taking advice that was given to me and not dating for 6, 8, 12 months. I'm feeling better every day. I am comfortable being, I don't even like to say the word alone because I'm not alone. I might be the only human in the room, but I am comfortable in my skin. And Abigail and I have a great time. And if I want to go have lunch or dinner with somebody, I can call somebody up in a reasonable amount of time. I can go have lunch with somebody, a man or a woman or a friend or my sister or my nephew or something. And I have people today that if I'm struggling, I can pick up the phone and call. I can call Andrea. I can call Nate. I can call several other people that I'm friends with and just say, hey, I'm struggling a little bit and I need to talk. Now, I'm not out there blowing up all my bullshit and telling 50 fucking people what's going on, because that's not going to help anything. But I do have a couple people that I can go to and say, I just need you to listen. I don't need you to solve the problem. Can you listen for a minute? And tell them what you need. So if you want to change who you are, if you want to change the way you feel, maybe some of these ideas might resonate with you, because they've really, really helped me a lot. It's helped me become secure with myself. It's helped me stop looking outside of myself for the answers, because I no longer feel inadequate. I know the answer is within me. And when I'm quiet, when I'm by myself and I turn off my cell phone, or I go sit on the beach or turn off the TV, I can hear God's word. I can find my path. And so many times throughout my life, I would go to everybody and ask, because I was so amiable with my personality style that I couldn't make my own decision. And then I would feel guilty making a decision that went against some of the suggestions my friend gave. And so it would just be this self-isolating misery. And I don't like that. I'm not doing that anymore, right? So now when I make my choices and make my decisions, I'm working at making better decisions. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect. I'm not like these guys you see on TV that, oh my gosh, Dr. Phil's perfect. Fuck, he is. He got divorced. He's just like everybody else. But I'm going to share the mistakes that I made, because I made an amends to that person, and I made an amends to myself. And that's what we talk about on this show, is life happens for you and not to you. And you can change. I'm not the same person I was at 9 o'clock this morning, let alone 4 or 5 days ago, let alone a month ago. I change that quickly. I heal stuff that fast. I go to the next level instantly, because we can heal, we can shift, we can change. And is there some stuff that I still have to work on? 100%. 100%. These holidays on paper weren't great for me. But I got a smile on my face, because I maneuvered through the pain of it way better than I ever have. Way better than I did 6 weeks ago. Way better than I did last year or the year before. Hell, I even put a Christmas tree up this year. I mean, that's a big deal for me. If you're in my inner circle, you understand that. My daughter wanted me to come down to Florida this week, and I've just been really, really sick. And I blew out my back. I mean, there's no way I'm traveling to Florida. And she says, well, I knew you wouldn't come anyways. You know what? She was right. The Old West wasn't going to come. And I didn't want to go, because there's going to be family members there that I didn't want to see. That's just the honest answer. However, the reality is I was too sick to go. And I was going to put Abby in the truck, and we're going to drive down there and see everybody and put a fucking smile on my face, because my dad's 91. I don't know how much more time I have with him. And family can be challenging. At the end of the day, they could be our greatest teachers as well. So if you think about that, the people that have hurt you the most, they're your greatest teachers. They actually loved you so deeply when they made their soul contract with you in heaven, knowing what they were going to do to you, that they loved you so much they completed that part of their contract. Now it's up to you to do your part of the contract and heal from that bullshit. Right? I mean, if that person left you and went away, good. They weren't good for you anyways. I was talking to a friend of mine this week, and a couple of friends actually, that are struggling with the same thing. And finally I said, hey, let it go. And she said, he cheated on me. He treated me like shit. I was like, you didn't like him in the first fucking place. What are you worried about? Forgive him. Forgive yourself and let it go. Move on. Say thank you for cheating on me, setting me free, and now I'm going to heal this, and I'm going to be the woman that I'm supposed to be. You want to get back at him? fucking grow. You want to show your naysayers the middle finger? Heal and grow. Become happy. Lose the weight. Make the money. Create a relationship with God. Create a relationship with yourself. Whatever it is, it will come when you start looking inward and taking responsibility for all of your actions. Nothing happens in your life by mistake. And when somebody told me that the first time, I'm like, man, that's just BS. How did I get hurt go-karting this summer? How did that happen? Well, I didn't really want to be present in my life, so the universe said, hey, you don't want to be present? Let me put your ass in the hospital with a concussion, and you get to start learning how to speak again. I'll help you with that. And the reality is, if I'd honored and loved and respected myself, I would not have been there because I was spending time with somebody I shouldn't spend time with. I was spending time with a woman that didn't give a fuck about me. But there was lessons that I was still not willing to learn. So Wes put himself back in that same spot that he did over and over and over. And the universe is like, hey, let's get some beer and popcorn and watch this fool get hurt this time. I could clearly hear Archangel Michael and Jesus speak. I can hear them clearly. It's a beautiful experience for me. And they just sit back and let you do your deal and waiting for you to learn your lessons and evolve. I want to evolve today. I want to evolve at such a fast pace. It's blinding, and I think that's fun. So I want you to remember who you are. You are beautiful, you are gifted, you are loved, you are important, you are needed. You are here to learn your lessons and become a beacon of light. You are here to inspire people. You are here not to suffer. You are here to find something inside of yourself that you're looking for. And lo and behold, when you keep looking there and finding that path, things change. I am so grateful for this haunted house. I am so grateful for the people that showed up in my life and destroyed me at the time. I am so grateful that I was molested as a child. I am so grateful for all of those experiences because it helped me grow beyond my wildest dreams. Think about that. Who would I be if I had none of those experiences? I'd be this blank plate. I would be nothing. I would have no feelings, no emotions, no experiences. How would I heal people if I hadn't gone through those things? Right? That person loved me at such a deep level. He showed up as the abuser. I showed up as the victim. That experience happened, and it's time for me to move on and heal myself and share my experience so somebody else who's gone through that, who maybe they can't verbalize those words yet, hear me talk about it and say, man, if that guy can talk about it on a podcast and tell the world, I'm not alone. If he can get better, I can get better. If he can change, I can change. That's what this is about. We take turns saving each other in this life. My first sponsor, Joe W., used to say that all the time. We take turns saving each other in this life. And Joe, I know you don't know this podcast even exists, but brother, I love you and I appreciate you. And you've saved my life so many times, just like Justin, just like other people. And I am grateful for that. When I started my healing practice, I started that with one thought. What if I could change one life? What if I could save one life? And I think I changed one life in the first healing session I ever did. And I know for a fact I've saved many lives. what a beautiful opportunity that is. So when you step into who you're supposed to be, how are you going to change the world? And the fun thing is, you don't even know what you've done to change the world. I have people tell me all the time the things that I've done for them. I'm like, fuck, I don't remember that. I just did a healing session, brother, and their experience was life-altering. And I'm just grateful for it. I'm like, thank you for sharing that. I did not know that, and I'm so happy for you. Because I know when Jesus and I connect, things change. Maybe you're not going to be a healer. That's okay. Maybe you're not going to be a doctor or a lawyer or a pharmacist or whatever. Maybe your job is you're going to raise your children while your significant other is supporting the family and you're helping them become well-rounded young men and women. That's one of the hardest jobs there is. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and I told her, I said, Jessica, you're more gifted than me. And she's like, no, we're equal. I'm like, honey, you're a woman. Women are more powerful than men. They just are. You just are. At least I'm willing to admit it. So I think it's important to empower people. I think it's important to tell them that they're important. I think it's great she's more gifted than me. I think that's fucking awesome. The stuff she talks about, I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, I don't even know where you get that. That's crazy. Good for you. And I'm going to guide her and support her like I have many other healers and give them encouragement to grow their business because it's God's work. There's plenty for everybody. I know where my path is going. I know what I'm going to do because today I choose me. Because today I'm choosing to be curious. Because today I'm choosing to be in my divine path. Because today I'm choosing to maneuver through my life with intention, even if the intention might not be the best one. I'm intentionally going to Burger King to get a Whopper. I'll pay the price for that after I eat it. But my intention was I was going to do that. I wasn't aimless in my decision. So I'm not saying you have to be perfect in everything that you do. I'm saying just be present in what the fuck you're doing. You know, I teach my real estate agents all the time, if you want to take a listing that's unsaleable, and you know it's unsaleable, but you're taking it because sometimes you just need to sign a contract, sometimes you're helping out a friend, sometimes you're some version of that, that's cool. But if you're taking it and you have no idea where you're at, that's the problem. I just want you to know where you're at. And we tell each other these lies. We believe these lies. Somebody was telling me the other day in a session, she says, yeah, but you don't understand. Yeah, but. And finally I looked at her, I said, okay, no worries. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to give you an opportunity to think differently. And I'm going to plant a seed because she's not going to forget the conversation that we had, that she can be different. She believed her trauma could not change. She believed her destiny could not change. And I understand that. I've been there. Most of us, well, all of us, let's be honest, have a thought pattern or a belief that's not fucking true. There's something there that's a lie. I still struggle with that. Not as much today as I did yesterday. But what lie are you believing that your parents, your ancestors, the school kids, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the mother, the wife, whatever, the father told you a bullshit story that you weren't good enough, that you were stupid, that you were weak? My mom, I love my mom, but she'd always say, you're going to be nothing but a ditch digger. And I remember one day I was digging a ditch. I bought this farm with horses out in Hickory. And I called my mom and I said, hey, Mom, I finally reached my goal. I'm a ditch digger. And I hung up. I was being a jerk off. And because that bothered me for so long. And at the end of the day, I know she didn't mean it, but it stuck with me, right? So what's sticking with you that doesn't serve you? Let's throw that shit in the trash. You know, let's start writing some goals. Let's start writing some affirmations. Hey, go on to Amazon and get my book, The 15-Minute Transformation. It'll help you change things. I just wanted to remind you who you are today. And who you are is a child of God. That's the real answer. I know this isn't a religious program, but that's who I work with. Everything that we want, we can have. And we don't have to worry about how do you get it. All you have to do is believe. Because once you start to believe, that's when your manifesting comes into play. And huge things happen in a moment. Right? So if you're sitting there and say, man, everything in my life is shit. Well, you manifested that. You're a master manifester. And the reason you can manifest shit over gold is because you're more in alignment with the shit. And I can promise you, I understand that. Been there, still working on that at some level. Maybe at a high level, still working on that. So me believing that I'm worthy is not my normal thought process. Me believing that I'm beautiful, I'm gifted, I'm loved is not my normal thought process. Why do you think I say it all the time? I was sitting there in traffic the other day and I caught myself thinking to myself, literally the words were, I love myself. I am beautiful. Thank you. Right? I mean, that's not my normal thought process. I don't know how many retired combat Marines you might know. I know a lot of them. And being flexible and positive and open-hearted and kind and loving myself is not a normal thought process for us. It's taken me a while. And it's taken some of my friends a while. And the cool thing is, as we go down this journey, I know my brothers and sisters are seeing me on my journey, and they're paying attention. I know they are. I see it. I'm leading that path for them too. So I just wanted to say thanks for listening to the show. I hope you're finding something valuable in it. It's kind of therapy for me. I am happy to lead the pack. I am happy to take the brunt of the storm and share my experiences and share my pain and share when I've made a mistake and I need to make an amends. Because you know what? That's what I signed up for. And I just want to say how much I appreciate you. I want to say thank you to all the listeners around the world. It's really fun to see those numbers growing. We've had over, 3,100 episodes downloaded since I've been up and running. And you really think about that. Andrea and I started in April, and we've had probably at least 6 months worth of time off, not recording, some version of that. And we've got those numbers. So I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you. I will see you next week.